Okay, guys, so I am going to a Pokemon TCG tournament in person in a couple days. It's actually going to be a league tournament. So I went to one about a week ago on Saturday last week to compete. It was very small, there was 4 people there. I got second place, which was really cool. So this deck I'm going to show you is the deck I got second place with, and it's the one I'm going to be taking to the larger tournament. I think there's probably going to be roughly 20-ish people at this tournament. It's going to be between 10 and 20. I'm hoping to make it the top cut. We'll see. I feel like this deck's pretty strong. I've made a lot of improvements when I played it before. But I'm just going to walk through what my deck is. So really, in essence, you can see this deck here on the bottom right, but it's a Gholdengo deck. I'm just going to go through each card, what its purpose is, and why I have it in the deck. So first is the Scyther. The Scyther is really here just to get to the Skizor for the next round. I do like this Scyther in particular, though, because I think agility is cool. I mean, it's always nice when you have a chance to not take damage from your opponent's attacks, especially whenever some opponents are pretty strong and I might be waiting to get Gholdengos built up in the back of the deck. The Skizor I think is really cool. The card art is very cool. But the Punishing Scissors attack is great against, the Charizards, Gardevoirs, Drifloons, a lot of Pokemons, Munkadoris, Facendipities. A lot of Pokemon now have abilities, which even the Lottie is time to give about now. So yeah, plenty of Pokemon. And being able to do 50 more for each on their bench is great. Especially Pokemon decks that like to use the Terra something Stadium, which is the Stadium card where you get to have 8 on your bench instead of 6. This could be huge for Scizor, especially only needing 1 Metal Energy to attack is great. Cut is good too. I don't think Cut's very useful, and I'm not going to really probably spend 2 energy on Scizor. Next is the Gimmighoul. I have, and to go back, just to say what I have 1 copy of Scyther, 1 copy of Scizor. Now we're at Gimmighoul, where I have 4 copies of Gholdengo. Gholdengo is the main basic Pokemon in the deck, number 999. Really, Gholdengo is just here to get out Gholdengo. Call for Family is nice for if I get Gholdengo on the first turn and I don't have Gholdengo in my hand, I can search and put another Gholdengo onto my bench, just so that way it can fall the next turn. Next, I do have 4 Gholdengo EXs as well in this deck. Coin bonus is awesome, getting to draw 1 card for all the ones I have on the bench, or 2 from the active. One of my favorite strategies, and I guess I could add Switch to the deck, which I don't have, is using coin bonus in your main active position and then retreating to a different Gholdengo, then using coin bonus again, getting to draw 4 cards instead of 3. Make It Rain is also just super nice, being able to discard basic energy cards from my hand to do 50 for each. So there's a lot of milling in this deck. I send a lot of cards to my discard pile, and I try to get them back from my discard pile in a few different ways. The last Pokemon I believe in this deck is Genesect EX, which there's 2 of. I used to run Rotom V, which, let me show you guys what this Rotom V used to look like in here. So I'm in Pokemon TCG. So we're going to actually just go into edit. We will just search in Rotom, and we should be able to find it. I thought we could. Let me check the filters really quickly. We just need to show all cards and all standards. Okay. So now it's going to show, because this Rotom is currently not allowed to be played right now, but I used to run this Rotom V, which I don't know if it's showing up really well for y'all. I hope I'm not covering this up. But really what this Rotom was is during your turn you could draw 3 cards and it would end your turn. It was really, I didn't run anything else with it, but it was really great for being able to get just more cards drawn to get a Gholdengo drawn if I didn't get one immediately. So this Genesect is cool. Let me go back one just because I think I am covering this stuff up a little bit. Let me go back one. So this Genesect is super cool because of the Metallic Signal ability. Being able to get 2 Steel-type Pokemon not only lets me get Gholdengo from my deck into my hand, but also lets me get Skizor from my deck into my hand. If I'm trying to wait around, I don't have a Gimme Ghoul out and available. Protect Charge is also nice if if it's really slow and I don't have any other basic Pokemon. Putting the energy on here and taking less damage later is convenient. I try not to waste the energy onto Genesect. That's all the Pokemon. So in total, there's 12 Pokemon in this deck. Next, we're gonna go into some items. Which first we have Earthen Vessel. Again, this is just to get more basic energies into my hand. So I'm using this. I'm discarding usually one basic energy and trading for two, or I'm getting rid of a Ultra Ball or a energy retrieval that you'll see later. Sometimes I get rid of Iono. There's some cards I don't really necessarily care for, or even in some cases where if I have 3 Gholdengo down, maybe I'll just get rid of one or the other Gholdengo in my hand, or I'll get rid of a Genesect if I don't need it, if I already am set up. So I have 2 of those. I have 2 of these energy retrievals, which this is another one I probably could run more if I really wanted to. Super convenient, easy, just 2 basic energy cards from my discard pile into my hand. Really nice and simple. Superior energy retrieval, I have 4 of these in the deck. So you can only use this card, you discard 2 cards. Generally, I'm kind of comboing this with energy retrieval before. If I'm in a pinch, I'll just discard 2 basic energies, get 4 from the discard, and then use energy retrieval and get the other 2 back. I have 6. With Gholdengo, that's nice for a solid 300 damage. I have 3 Ultra Balls in the deck. Really, again, this is just to try to help and get Gholdengo out quickly. And again, just due to the amount of basic energy I'm running in this deck, usually I'm discarding energy and then re-upping it into my hand. Second guard, one of these. Really, this one is here just because it's a pretty... I have a lot of basic energy in this deck, so I mean, it is nice to get me draw power. But also, this stadium is more for trying to just get rid of stadiums that the opponent plays. So, if they play like Jamming Tower, Arctozoan, if they play that Crystal Stadium one, whatever it's called, for the Terra Pokemon. This is really just so I can replace it and have another stadium card. I used to have like the Toxic Wasteland or something similar to that, but it's out of regulation right now, so I'm not able to play that. No. Collapse Stadium. It's the one where you can only have 4 on your bench. Out of regulation, can't play it anymore. So right now, it's Cycling Road. Then our other stadium is Full Metal Lab, which is actually really great for Steel Pokemon. So just taking 30 less damage, after weaknesses, of course, is pretty convenient. It's pretty nice. 1 of each of these stadium cards in the deck, by the way. Next, we're to Boss's Order. There's 4 of these in the deck. Switch one of your opponent's bench to active spot. Really, this is just nice for when I have Gholdengo set up, I have energy set up, and I know I can go for KOs. And I'm just trying to either stop my opponent from building up. Let's say they're trying to get to like a Gardevoir. I can simply just switch in their Ralts. They're trying to get Pidgeot or Charizard. I can just switch in their Charmander. Or even if, even if they have an EX on the bench. Or a Mega at this point. Let's say they have Mega Kangaskhan on their bench. But I have 8 basic energy in my hand. I can just switch in the Mega Kangaskhan, go for the KO, and get my 3 prize cards, which is really great. There is 2 of these Cypher Maniacs code breaking in the deck. This just goes really well with Gholdengo's coin bonus ability. Being able to first pick what 2 cards I want on top of the deck and then using coin bonus to draw those 2 cards is super convenient. I only run 2 of these just because I think it's less convenient than just being able to switch in my opponent's Pokemon from Boss's Order. But this is still a really nice card to have. I have 1 Cyrano in here, and really this Cyrano was added in before I started to add in the Genesect. So this is one I can see that I kind of rotate out. But I do like it for the convenience of, if I don't have a Genesect down, if I only have Scyther down, I don't have Skeezor or anything like that. Maybe I have some Gholdengo, some Gimme Goals sitting on my bench, a couple of them. This is really nice to be able just to get all 3 Gholdengos into my hand. So with this, I can either draw a Gholdengo or a Genesect. The Skeezor in this deck is non-EX, so it's not available to be drawn with this card. Again, I just have 1 Iono in this deck as well. So this Iono is pretty convenient, I would say. I don't really use it too much, and again, it's really just another card that's kind of a filler in here. If my opponent has a whole lot of cards in their hand, or they have like no prize cards. I'm just trying to get to, I think I don't mind losing my cards, then this is great for me to play. Otherwise, this is one that's just discard fodder. With that, I believe that's the last support card. So we'll just get into the last couple of items here. So Pokemon Tool, Hero's Cape. Really, I just see getting the plus 100 HP is valuable. I know a lot of people run the very different basic energy types in their deck, and then they have the card where you can draw like one of each basic energy from your deck into your hand. It's fine. I just think Hero's Cape is pretty valuable whenever Pokemon can hit for like 170 damage, because you know 2 hits to 170 damage is 340 damage on Gholdengo, but with Hero's Cape, Gholdengo's at 360 HP, so it can actually last 3 hits. So I just think the value of being able to live longer of Hero's Cape is more valuable than being able to get those other energies. I feel pretty confident generally in my ability to get basic energies from my deck. Next we have Leftovers. This is just good if my Pokemon's poisoned for some reason. Monkey Dory is moving damage onto my starter Pokemon quickly. Again, it's also more of kind of a fodder card to get rid of as well, but it does have some nice uses. Jet Energy, I have one of these in the deck, and the Leftovers I only have one as well. Jet Energy is super nice and convenient. I do really like using it for if I have a Gholdengo set up, and let's say I have Genesect in the active spot. Genesect taking 3 energy to switch out is not ideal. So just being able to play a Jet Energy and switch in Gholdengo is nice. This also is in the same vein of if I wanted to switch in a Scyther in place of Genesect if Genesect was about to be knocked out, and I'd rather Scyther be knocked out for just 1 instead of 2 prize cards. Being able to easily switch in Scyther in that situation and get to use agility to potentially save myself for a turn is pretty nice. Lastly is just Steel type energy. I have 24 of these in my deck, which is a crazy number to say out loud. 40% of my deck is Steel energy, which, you know, it can be rough sometimes. Sometimes I mulligan a couple times, but this is the perfect number I've found where I feel like I always have enough basic energies for the knockout, but I do not have too many to where I'm still drawing cards that I need. So overall, that's the deck. All 60 cards. And you can even see it on the screen kind of well here. I feel pretty great about this deck. I'll probably post an update video once the tournament is over. And hopefully I do well. I'll try to take notes and recap exactly how the tournament went. For the tournament I went to last week, that went really well. It was still for league points. I got second out of 4. My first match actually was playing against my brother-in-law who was there, which was pretty interesting. He was playing a Haxorus deck, and it was cool. His deck was super strong. He just got really unlucky with his first couple of hands, and I got 2 Gimme Goals and Gholdengos on my first bit, so it was pretty game over from that point. His Haxorus deck is pretty strong in the impact that, you know, each Haxorus I only get 1 prize card for, so it's a lot harder for me to whittle down those 1 prize card decks like that compared to ones where I can get 2 prize cards per knockout. So that was my first win. I think it was 6-0 prize cards. The next match I had was the second. There was 3 total matches, since there's only 4 people there. So the next I had is my opponent was also 1-0, and he was using a Mega deck, which was cool. It had Mega Lopunny, Kangaskhan, I think Absol was in it as well, as long as some other basic normal Pokemon. It was interesting to say the least. You know, I kind of got set up with a Gholdengo at first, but then I was not able to get any other basic Pokemon on my bench. So I only had the 1 Gholdengo going into the match, basically. And the Mega Lopunny was really cool, but it was able to switch in and get extra damage and basically just one-shot my Gholdengo, which was unfortunate. I lost just due to not having any other prize cards left. So in the end, he was able to I think I got 2 prize cards, but then he was able to still win. In my third match, my opponent was playing the kind of Gardevoir Drifloon deck of before, you know, Munkidori. You know, the Drifloon is able to do damage to your bench or just knock out your Pokemon. The Gardevoir is able to move Psychic Energy pretty much at will, as much as it wants. It might be Fairy type energy. I can't remember which one. And Munkidori is able to move damage counters around pretty much as it wants. I think it's like 2 or 3 per turn. So it was good. I just was really set up well with Gholdengo. Again, got a very good starting hand and was able to prevent my opponent from being able to set up with Gardevoir. And so my opponent ended up conceding, but it was a good match overall. So yeah, I really look forward to the opportunity to get to play again next week, this coming weekend. By the time y'all are seeing this, I shouldn't have competed. I'll hopefully have this posted before then. But I'll be excited to share kind of the results of it. I don't know if like filming Pokemon TCG matches is really allowed, how to go about that, but you know, maybe I'll try to look into doing something like that in my next round if possible. But anyways, this is it. I won't throw a title screen or end screen on here. I'm just going to kind of upload as is. But if you guys like this kind of breakdown of this deck and want to hear about how to turn it, just let me know. So anyways, peace. Thank y'all.